In the world of automobiles, few stories are as heartbreaking as the fall of Pontiac. Once a titan of American automotive industry, now a mere memory. This was a brand that once stood shoulder to shoulder with the giants, a symbol of American ingenuity and a beacon of innovation. Today, it is a stark reminder of how even the mightiest can fall. In its heyday, Pontiac was more than just a car brand. It was a cultural phenomenon. It was the embodiment of the American dream, a dream of freedom, of exploration, of the open road. Pontiac was the chariot of choice for the young and the restless, the adventurous and the daring. It was in a Pontiac that many Americans experienced their first taste of the open road, their first brush with speed, their first sense of truly being alive. But as we all know, nothing lasts forever. Over time, Pontiac began to lose its luster. A series of unfortunate events led to a decline in sales and a loss of market share. The brand that was once synonymous with speed, innovation, and the spirit of adventure started to lose its identity. It was no longer the Pontiac that people had grown to love and admire. It was a shadow of its former self, struggling to compete in a rapidly changing market. A number of factors contributed to Pontiac's downfall. There was the global financial crisis of 2008, which hit the automobile industry particularly hard. There were also internal issues within the company, including a lack of clear vision and direction. And then there was the increasing competition from foreign car manufacturers who were offering more fuel-efficient and affordable cars. Despite these challenges, Pontiac tried to fight back. It attempted to reinvent itself, to adapt to the changing times. But sadly, it was too little, too late. By the time the company realized the extent of its problems, it was already on the brink of collapse. The story of Pontiac is a classic tale of rise and fall. A journey from being a pioneering automobile manufacturer to becoming an object lesson in business failure. Our story begins in the early 20th century when Pontiac made its debut in the automobile industry. Born out of the ashes of the Oakland Motor Car Company, Pontiac was established as a companion brand in 1926 under the umbrella of General Motors. The name Pontiac was a tribute to an 18th century Native American leader who resisted British occupation. From the get-go, Pontiac was dedicated to delivering performance and affordability, a combination that quickly captivated the American public. Its first car, the Pontiac Big Six, was a hit. With a robust six-cylinder engine and a stylish design, it was a strong contender in the growing automobile market. Pontiac's initial success was fueled by its commitment to innovation and quality. It was a brand that dared to be different. With a promising start, Pontiac seemed destined for greatness. But as we'll soon see, the road ahead was anything but smooth. The 1960s and 70s were a golden era for Pontiac, as they introduced models that would become automotive icons. It was during this time that the world was introduced to the legendary GTO, a car that encapsulated the muscle car ethos of power and performance. This was closely followed by the Firebird, a vehicle that brought together style and speed in a unique package. Pontiac wasn't just about raw power though. They were innovators, pioneers in the auto industry. They revolutionized the concept of wide track design, providing improved handling and stability. They also led the way in luxury, with the Bonneville setting new standards in comfort and sophistication. It was an era of triumphs and accolades. Pontiac was a dominant force, a brand that had found its niche and was exploiting it to the fullest. Yet it was not all smooth sailing. But as we've seen too often in history, success can sometimes breed complacency. The 1980s marked the beginning of a slow, painful decline for Pontiac. As the decade dawned, a series of unfortunate events and ill-advised decisions began to unravel the once mighty automaker. Firstly, let's talk about management. The leadership at Pontiac seemed to lose touch with what made the brand special. Instead of focusing on the performance and style that had made them a household name, they began to emphasize cost-cutting and efficiency. This shift in focus led to a noticeable decline in the quality and appeal of their vehicles. The once mighty Firebird and GTO were reduced to mere shadows of their former glory, while newer models lacked the distinctive character that had once defined the brand. Moreover, innovation, a key driver of success in the auto industry, took a back seat at Pontiac. As competitors introduced new technologies and design philosophies, Pontiac seemed stuck in the past. The company failed to invest in research and development, and as a result, their cars began to feel outdated and uncompetitive. Adding to their woes, Pontiac struggled to adapt to changing market trends. The 1980s saw a shift in consumer preference towards more fuel-efficient and environmentally friendly vehicles. However, Pontiac, with its lineup of gas-guzzling performance cars, was ill-equipped to meet this new demand. Attempts to introduce smaller, more fuel-efficient models were met with lukewarm reception, as they lacked the performance and style that Pontiac was known for. Externally, the company faced increasing competition from both domestic and foreign automakers. Japanese brands, in particular, were making significant inroads into the American market with their affordable, reliable, and fuel-efficient vehicles. Pontiac's attempts to compete often fell flat, with their offerings seen as inferior in comparison. In conclusion, a combination of poor management decisions, lack of innovation, and inability to adapt to changing markets led to the downfall of Pontiac. The 1980s was a decade of missed opportunities and missteps for the automaker. The writing was on the wall. Pontiac was on a collision course with failure. Despite desperate attempts to save the brand, Pontiac was officially discontinued in 2010. This marked the end of an era that had spanned more than 8 decades. The last vestiges of the Pontiac brand, a name that had once been synonymous with American muscle and innovative design, were reduced to final models that tried to capture the old glory. The last models off the production line were the G6, the Vibe, and the Solstice. The G6, a midsize car, was the last to bear the Pontiac emblem, while the Vibe compact hatchback and the Solstice sports car represented the brand's attempt to diversify and appeal to a broader market. But the writing was already on the wall. The final cars were met with a lukewarm response, indicating that the brand had lost its connection with the public. The global economic recession in 2008 had hit hard, and the fallout had left many car manufacturers, including General Motors, Pontiac's parent company, in a precarious position. The closure of Pontiac was part of a wider restructuring plan by General Motors to focus on its 4 core brands: Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, and GMC. The decision was not taken lightly, and it resulted in the loss of thousands of jobs and the closure of hundreds of dealerships across the United States. The automobile industry felt the ripple effects of Pontiac's closure. It was not just the end of a brand, but also the end of a unique design philosophy that had dared to push boundaries and redefine what a car could be. The void left by Pontiac is still felt today, with many enthusiasts longing for the return of the brand's audacious spirit. The end of Pontiac is a cautionary tale in the automobile industry. It is a stark reminder of the relentless pace of change and the unforgiving nature of the market. Pontiac's story serves as a sobering reminder that no brand, no matter how iconic, is immune to failure.